Whoa! And welcome to Gateway to Geats episode 2. You know, we've gone through the first episode, and I definitely think it's going to be smooth sailing from here on out. We're not going to have to deal with a bunch of shit. Who am I kidding? There's going to be so much things that we're going to have to look at. I mean, who am I kidding? They rebooted the entire universe in the first episode. This shit's going to get wild. But in the meantime, hey, do you like this video? You should subscribe so you can see more as they come out. You should also leave a like and a comment. They're always appreciated. And yes, I do realize call to actions are somewhat cringe. Why do you ask? Getting into the episode proper, the recap was very cute, very clever of him recounting what happened in the previous episode to his sister. It's just a fun little cute thing. And oh god, Geats is famous now. We never found out what his wish was in the first episode, but to see it now, it's just kind of like, wow, you're supposed to be our hero? That's interesting. It's a nice, interesting, like, different vibe. It's a different take, you know? But it does make me question, has he done this several times and has tried something different each and every time? Because that's the vibe it's giving off of, like, hey, this time I'll try and be a famous person. Like, he's trying to figure out what the world he wants to live in. And the woman in black and white hints at that because she's like, oh, are you really happy? And Ace Geats is like, yeah, no, I'm totally happy, you know? But this could also just be him testing the limits of the wish, you know? Like, how much can I wish for? What can I wish for? You know, all that kind of stuff. But before we can stay in that scene for too much longer, we are then taken to essentially the floating Fortnite bus of this world, of a platform seemingly in an alternate dimension, seemingly in the sky, with all of the contestants out in front and gathered to play the death game. And then the OP happens. The opening is really good. I enjoy the opening, and I have a feeling it's going to be an earworm the farther and farther we get into the series. I don't know what the lyrics mean yet, but they have a cool vibe. They have a great tone, you know. It's not high energy, pump your fist music, but this isn't really necessarily a high energy show. It's a lot more about, like, the psychological character communication. So it definitely fits this show. Though I personally feel like the ending of the theme, as we see it on the show itself, kind of feels a little bit like a wet noodle. Not totally. It's not without merit, but it's not a button at the end, you know what I mean? It's not like a full forced punch. It kind of, to me, it feels like it fades and whimpers. It's not a deal breaker, because I do know that there is like a fully done song right over there that has the stuff like that continues, you know? It just, for the intro itself, it kind of is a little bit of a wet noodle. Not super hard, and again, this is a very, very small nitpick. It doesn't ruin anything, you know? The base premise of the show is revealed in full to us, the audience, and to the contestants, though some of them already know. It's, you know, hey, exposition. Ultimately, the battle royales are just a way to protect the world. Monsters invade. Y'all are here to stop it. Your reward, if you succeed, is a wish that we'll grant you. You know, it's just a battle royale. It's Fortnite. It's Apex Legends. It's those kind of games. You know, the first task is up, where you're going to be dropped down and you have to gather power-ups and weapons and all those kind of things. You know, similar to how the beginning of a Fortnite match would go. You drop down and you pick up your weapon and you pick up your tools. And we see a couple smattering of the characters and their interactions. And I'm just going to be completely honest. Right as this very moment, I'm a little distrusting of the Sheep Man. Just because his vibe is very much, I am friendly and affable if it gets me what I want. You know what I mean? It's the attitude of like, I will be the nicest person in the world so long as it gets me what I want. And if I don't get what I want, I could care less. And I don't think that's the character they're going for, but right now I'm a little on edge. You know what I mean? Hopefully I'll be proven wrong. The fight goes down and we see a fun exploration of the powers and the rule set and how everything in the world is going to interact. The power-ups, the weapons, just in general. We see Geats get the water gun pipe thing, and that was an adorable scene. It's just a super soaker, and then he goes like, oh, shit, bonk. Oh, okay, cool. I can just use it as like a fucking lead pipe. Nice. Bonk, bonk, bonk. Great little bits here and there. We then see other people get their power-ups and so on and so forth. I love the little treasure chest the power-ups come in. Genuinely, it is such a neat little design. I would love like a 3D printed version of one of those one day, or to even just know what the real life product that they base the prop on, because prop masters do that all the time, where they buy like something in a store and then just like muck with it to make it look like a prop, to make it look like the way they want it to be. So I would love to have that box because it's just a cool looking box. As we see the fight go down, we see Kawa getting a little freaked out, going like, oh, shit, what's going on? He's running away. He gets saved by a dude, and it's the boss from the interview. Holy shit, what's up, dude? And with the boss guy, we see a little bit of thematic, metaphorical poetry happening, where basically the guy reveals, yo, I have a very specific reason for being here, and that is to save my kid. He is sick. Doctors are saying there's not a lot of things they can do. I want to help my kid. And KOL is just like, fuck, dude, that's sick. That's really cool. But if we were to look at this scene with like the power understanding of the possible thematic elements, there is a lot of power dynamics at play. On one part, it is a breakdown of the power dynamic between the boss guy who was in control of the future and the interview man, you know, all that kind of stuff, and Kawa, because now they are on equal terms. It's not possible boss or a possible employee. It's very much, yo, we're equal, we're both in this game, we both have something we want to fight for. They see eye to eye, you know, but there's an opposite power dynamic here to an extent, where he has joined to save his kid, but ultimately that desire is being taken advantage of by the game system. It's like, oh, cool, you want to take care of your kid? Well, put yourself in this dangerous situation and maybe you might be able to do it. It's predatory, ultimately. And this may be like a commentary on like predatory game design, where it's just like, hey, you want that skin, that video game, don't you? You gotta give me money, you know? You want that wish, you gotta put your life on the line. I'm not saying it's like a great like one-to-one thing, but I can definitely see parallels being made there, you know what I mean? But also on power dynamics, the lobby itself is a place of equal power. Everyone is treated fairly, everyone is treated equally there, and are chastised when the possibility of using power over someone else is proposed or like threatened, you know what I mean? Where ultimately they are told not to fight, you're here to rest, don't do anything, you know? And the more we get a look at the base generic belt, the more I'm enjoying it. I just enjoy the simple shape of it, you know? It's just a nice, simple shape, simple color spread. All of it's just like, it also feels very evocative of like classic Kamen Rider belts of the Showa era, of the early Heisei era. It has a really nice, simple aesthetic, you know what I mean? Everybody who got a power-up, big event is happening, and everyone who didn't get a power-up is now dead. Everyone freaks out about that. KOL tries to bring up of like, oh no, the Soba guy came back to life, and the Kamen Riders that have been here before have gone like, yeah, no, but it does not work like that. Oh shit. Things get real. Where are we gonna drop? I don't play Fortnite. I just know that's a phrase in the game. Oh, hey, the girl wearing black and white does a cute little Kamen Rider Ichigo reference. It's cute. It's cute. You know, if you're gonna reference the past, a pose is fine, you know? As they are henching, I had a thought. The base suits really do make this feel like a video game. It feels like a generic player skin with, like, the helmet being base generic cosmetics that you get for just starting the game, and the power-ups of being evocative of the skins you can buy in Fortnite, you know what I mean? But hey, they start fighting and it's a free for fucking all. And Keiwa has the immediate Shinji effect of like, oh shit is real, what the fuck? He's afraid, and he has to be shaken out of it because of the boss dude. The boss dude is gung-ho. He's like, for my son, I am going to fight and kill. You know, props to the boss dude. Fucking dude went in there going like, protect my son, pull out a gun, you know? But the dude gets fucking wrecked. I think so far we've had 2 technical casualties in this show, and it's only 2 episodes in. Holy shit, are we gonna have a body count for this show? That's interesting. I don't want to be a fucking bloodhound or thirsty for it, you know, but it's like, oh hey, violence and stakes in my Kamen Rider? I'm not saying other Kamen Riders don't have violence and stakes. It's just like those violence and like, it's just that violence and those stakes. Ooh, that's interesting, you know? As Keiwa is basically processing what has happened to the boss dude after the boss dude has passed away, Geats comes in and says like, basically what I'm thinking is going to be the genuine theme of the series. What the full, here's our thesis statement of the art is gonna be. Unless you fight, the world will not change. It's definitely a much more like specific thing than my vague like, oh, it's about power kind of stuff. It's very much about like, no, you have to exert effort in order to make a change in the world, which, you know, fair. That's, yeah, you gotta. And so far, I think this is gonna be like this series, basically great power, you know, with great power must also come great responsibility. Unless you fight, the world will not change. I think that's gonna be like the overarching thematic element overall, you know? So like, power is an important part, like, so power is a part of that concept. And in that very much instance, it's about using power to change things. So I want to hold off a little bit more before I start like really diving into like, this is what the show is about. So far we've got like power, we got like change, we have fighting for the world we want to live in, all this kind of stuff, so on and so on and so forth. And now I'm also thinking of like my pre-watch thoughts of like, oh, maybe the gateway concept has a little bit more merit because he is Geats gateway, you know, all that kind of stuff of how gateways are a transitional space. They go from one area to another, very much changing the world around you. So the final fight happens. Keiwa goes like, all right, cool. I'm not necessarily more confident, but I'm willing to put up a fight. As Geats goes like, yo, dude, I believe in the shit you believe in. Give me your power up and I can fight the bad guy. They do. It's a big, fun fight. There's a lot of fun, interesting uses of the water gun prop. A lot of just like good things, you know? It's just a good, fun, climactic fight, you know? And then we realize Ace is a little shit, because Ace lied to Keiwa and basically said whatever he needed to say in order to get the power up, so he can fight the thing and get the points. Keiwa goes like, oh, fuck you, you little shit, give me my shit back. And that's when it's revealed in full that the boost power-up is a one-time use. It's a limited use power-up, and cool, interesting. It creates an interesting rule set for the stories to play with, but also easily able to limit the motorcycle, you know? that's a thing that Kamen Rider has to work around now because of filming traffic laws in Japan. So I do gotta say though, I absolutely love the jackets that they wear outside of the suits of just like their civilian uniform. The jackets are amazing. I want one so fucking bad. It's such a badass looking jacket. But we see some character development for Keiwa where he basically says like, hey, the wishes, can you bring people back from the dead? And the woman in black and white goes like, yeah, maybe. You gotta wish and see. As the players are starting to shuffle out, Ace eggs on Keiwa with a little bit of trash talk, you know, really playing into the gamer aspect of everything, but then donates a bunch of money to the hospital the kid is staying in, showing that he has a heart of gold, that he's not a complete and total asshole, you know? There's interesting things with Geats, and I'm interested to learn more about him, and I'm so thankful he is not the main character, you know? He is a main driving force of the show, and he's a prominent character, and he is the title character, but he's not the main character, you know? He's not our focus character, he's not our point of view character, and I absolutely love that. And then we have a mystery man saying mystery things, and next episode is zombie survival, which is gonna be fun. Overall, top-notch episode. Really good. I couldn't think of any major flaws with it. It is just a really solid chunk of television. But hey, we had some comments from last time that pointed things out that I want to mention. First things first, James G pointed out that the crossbow prop that I thought was 3D printed for the show is actually a prop reuse from Zio. So thank you, James. That's really good, relevant information. So it's definitely not a prop that they're super caring about, but it's not as replaceable as I thought it was. So, what you gonna do? And then, Keretsumitsu also brought up some interesting points of how the game cycle death loop is reminiscent of cycles of reincarnation, which is a fascinating little thing. So maybe that aspect plays into the fight for the world you want to live in kind of thing. And kind of is like a little back and forth conversation, you know? You try again. Either way, really insightful comment, Karamitsu. I really appreciate it. But that is Gateway to Geats episode 2. And hey, guess what? It's the end of the show. And guess what? It's the end of the video. That just means it's another call to action. I'm sorry. Subscribe, comment, like, do all those things. And hey, if you want to hear more thoughts about Kamen Rider Geats, very easy thing for you to do. Go to Modular Media, link is in the description, and listen to the podcast Twit, TWIT, This Week in Toku, where Buster Core, the Vacuuminator, and any guest that they have on will talk about tokusatsu in a general sense, whatever happened in the week, news and updates. They talk about Kamen Rider, they talk about Ultraman, they talk about Super Sentai, they talk about indie tokusatsu. So if you are interested in tokusatsu, go listen to that podcast. It is right up your alley. And until next time, I am Boingo Rider. Keep boinging.